check out this beautiful fat tire e-bike from Lectric. It's called the XPEAK 2.0. And in this video, we're going to find out if this bike is going to be a good commuter e-bike for you. And there's only one way to do that, so let's get into it. When it comes to the XPEAK 2.0, they have the standard version, and then they have the long distance version that I have right here. And we're going to talk about the differences here in a second. But when you get your XPEAK 2.0, it's going to come to you as a Class 2 e-bike, which means it'll take you up to 20 miles an hour via this thumb throttle here on your left-hand side, your torque sensor down below, and your 5 levels of pedal assist. The bike on its own without the battery weighs about 64.5 pounds. Now, I weighed my battery. It was 11.6 pounds, which means that the total weight of my bike is 76 pounds. This bike has a maximum payload capacity of 330 pounds. And you can get the standard edition of this bike for $13.99, or you can get this long distance version with the bigger battery for $15.99. And they both come with a 1-year warranty. They have 2 different versions of the XPEAK. They have the step-over model, and then they have this step-through. Now, Lectric says the average rider height for the step-through model is 5'2" to 6'3". If you get the XR version, which is the high step, the average height is from 5'4" to 6'5". Now, they only come in one color, so if you get the step-through version right here, you're going to get it in white. And if you get the step-over XR model, well, that comes in Tempest Gray. Now, Lectric says that the standard version will go up to 60 miles on a single battery charge, but this long distance version will do 80 miles. Now, if you've seen any of my videos, you're gonna know I'm gonna abuse this bike. We're also in Chicago here in the winter, so it's gonna be a cold day. So don't expect for me to get anywhere near that kind of mileage. The motor is a 48 volt, 750 watt rear hub motor with 1,310 watts of peak power and 85 Newton meters of torque. It has an 8-speed transmission, an Altus derailleur, a derailleur guard, a 46-tooth chainring, and the Shimano trigger shifter. For stopping power, you have a 2-piston hydraulic brake system, and you have 203mm rotors on the front and 180mm rotors on the rear. The front fork on this bike is an RST Renegade. This fork cost about $400. It has 80mm of travel. You can preload it and you can lock it out. It also has a through axle with quick release. The tires are by Chow Yang. They are 26 by 4 inches. They have slime included in the tires whenever you order them. They have an all-terrain tread pattern to them, and they're puncture resistant. Now, when it comes to the battery on this bike, this is the long distance version, and it is hidden in this down tube right here. You have the matching battery cover, so it blends in very nicely with the bike. Now, this one is a 48 volt, 20 amp hours with 960 watt hours of power. You can charge it up with this 2 amp charger, which means it's going to take about 10 hours to charge, and you can do it while it's in the bike with this charging port right over here. Now, you don't have to charge it with the battery in the bike. You can take the battery out and charge it someplace else. It will come with 2 keys. There is a button here on this other side. We're going to go ahead and put our key in here. I'm going to push down on the button, and then the battery is just going to pop right on out. Let's turn this wheel just a little bit to make it a little bit easier. It is a little bit hard to get it out, but you'll be fine. You can get it figured out. There is a battery indicator light right there, and your charging port for the battery is right here. Now, to go ahead and put this battery back in, well, we're just gonna place it back in the bike here. Make sure the fork's not in the way, and click it back in there. Pull the key out, and you're good to go. The Lectric XPEAK 2.0 has a UL certification of 2271 and 2849. It also has an IPX65 rating, which means it can handle water splashes from any direction. Additional features include plastic fenders, aluminum quick-release pedals, double chainring guard, a quick-release seat post with a wide seat, and you can purchase this suspension seat post. It has a rear rack that can hold up to 60 pounds, and multiple mounting points. Lectric has their own foldy lock, so you can add this on as a package to your bike. Let's talk about size and fit. Now, it doesn't matter if you get the step-over model or the step-through. Both bikes are going to be 75 inches in length. Now, when it comes to adjustments for your shorter and taller rider, there's no real adjustments that you can make up here in the handlebar area, but you can adjust this seat. Now, this one right here has the suspension seat post on it, so the lowest we can take it is right there, and that's going to be your setup for your shortest rider. And then let's go ahead and set it up for your longest rider here, your tallest, not your longest. And right there that's pretty high. There you go. That I mean, that's for your tallest right there. That's awful high. Now I am 5'9", 225 pounds with a 32-inch inseam, and this is what I'm going to look like riding this bike today. Cockpit Operations. On your left-hand side, you have a single locking grip right here. This rubber feels really nice, and it has a palm rest. This is your front brake lever, this is your throttle, and this is your control pad. To turn the bike on, you're just going to hold the power button until your screen lights up. As you can see, this is a very good looking full color display. Up here has all your battery indication right there. Then this will also tell you how many watts you have going. This will tell you your speed, your pedal assist level, and this is your odometer. And then right underneath here is a USB-C port. Now, if you hit your power button real quick, it's going to give you different information, like there's your trip mileage, your how many volts is in the battery, which is going to be very important today, how much current is going through the bike, the time on the bike, and then it goes back to your odometer. Now, if you want to go up in pedal assist levels, where you're going to hit the plus button right here, and as you can see, it goes all the way from 1 to 5, and then to go down in pedal assist level, you're just going to hit the minus button. To turn the headlight on, you're going to hold the plus button until your headlight comes on. It will give you an indicator right there to let you know that the headlight is on. And then to turn it off, well, you're just going to hold that plus button again. This is the Elite headlight. This headlight has 850 lums and is much brighter than the standard headlight that comes with the bike. This is the tail light that is on whenever you turn your headlight on. And if you notice, I'm hitting the brake right now, but it is not a brake light. It is just a tail light. On your right hand side, you have your rear brake lever right here, and then this is your gear shift. You can use your thumb to take it down in gear, and then you use your index finger and put it up in gear. I've noticed this bike doesn't have a bell on it, so we're going to add one before we take off. Let's talk about advanced settings. Now, to get into your advanced settings, you're going to hold the plus and minus button down, and that's going to take you into your P levels. And look, there are a ton of different configurations and modifications that you can make to this bike to make it your very own. We're going to talk about the ones that interest me and possibly you. The P01, well, that's going to give you your brightness on your display, and we're just going to move through that right there. The ones that we're interested in is the speed limit, which is P08, and we are going to unlock this bike to class 3 speeds. Oh, it looks like it already is. So 32 means that you can only take it up to 20 miles an hour. And then if you hit this plus button again, it takes it up to 45. To lock it in, you're just going to hit the power button again. Right here is P12, which is interest me. It's at 0, which means the light is on all the time. But when you put it into 1, it's going to blink. The headlight and the tail light is going to flash. And this is a very cool thing for me because I'm riding around in the city. I want some kind of indicator to let people know that I'm coming. And this is a great safety feature. This is what the headlight looks like when it is in that flashing mode, and also your tail light. And as you can see, the headlight is letting you know that it is flashing. And then there are a bunch of other ones, but those were the ones that I am interested in today. You have that full list that you can look at any time to make any kind of changes to the bike that you want. It is definitely time to take this bike out on the road and have some fun. All right, guys, check it out. We are out here on the 606 trail. It is going to be like mid 40 degrees today, which means I don't have to wear a full face helmet, which makes that fun for me. And we are riding in 0 pedal assist right now, which means we're not getting assist from the bike or throttle. And we're cruising at about 10 miles an hour in gear 3. Let's go ahead and test the throttle out on this bike. I have it in pedal assist 1. We're going to see if the throttle is dictated to the pedal assist level, and I feel like it is. I mean, by take it off, we are only cruising 8 miles an hour is going to be your fastest speed in pedal assist number 1. Let's go ahead into pedal assist number 2. It launches pretty gently, so that's not a bad feeling right there. You're definitely not going to lose control when you take off. And it looks like we're going to be cruising at 15 miles an hour in pedal assist number 2. Let's go ahead and try 3. Nice gentle push forward again with pedal assist number 3. And it looks like pedal assist number 3 is going to take you to 20 miles an hour, which is the fastest this throttle is going to go. You won't be able to go any faster than 20 miles an hour. All right, let's go ahead and try pedal assist. I do have it in pedal assist number 1. We're going to take off and see how quick. Okay, it kicked in almost immediately. So I made like a quarter of a turn on the crank before it kicked in, which is super nice. And we're going to cruise at 9 miles an hour. in pedal assist number 1. Let's go ahead and try 2. Number 2 is going to have us cruising at around 13 miles an hour. Let's try 3. Pedal assist number 3 has you cruising at 16 miles an hour. Let's try 4. And you can very comfortably cruise at 18 miles an hour. I have it in gear 7, and it is this ride is feeling great. Let's go ahead and try pedal assist number 5. Pedal assist number 5 will have you comfortably cruising at 21 miles an hour. Now let's go ahead and talk about this torque sensor. And we're just cruising at 21 miles an hour, but if I push down on the cranks, we are going to launch. And let's go ahead and see what the top speed is. 28 miles an hour is what your speed is going to be. Oh, and it feels great. This is a good torque sensor. Before I took off, I went ahead and added the Hafni bar end mirror on my left-hand side and a bell that I got off of Amazon. I get them in bulk because a lot of bikes don't have bells, but it's cheap, but it's decent. It does the job. And then I added the Lectric panniers here on the back. I purchased them a while back. I wanted to see how effective they were going to be. And I can tell you right now that they hold a ton of stuff. They're also soft. They feel pretty good. And right now I've got all of my camera equipment in there, and it makes it super easy because now I don't have to wear a backpack. I don't have my clamp tight enough. I'm like, why is this getting harder to ride? Oh, we got to tighten it up. Make sure, guys, that you tighten your clamps up here. That way you get it on there. Go, go, go. Ah, there we go. That should not come off. Woo, okay. There we go. That feels right. Let's go ahead and test out the speedometer compared to the display. And right now it looks like everything is matching up, which is good because that'll definitely help when it comes to tracking the distance today. I do have Strava going, but it looks like, you know, so far everything's matching up. Now we're going to do some time speed tests. We're going to see how quick it's going to take this bike to get up to 20 miles an hour using throttle only, and let's go. Now, when you have it in pedal assist number 5, it will take off more aggressively, and that's what we are wanting because we want to get to 20 real quick, and it looks like it's going to happen. Boom. 10 seconds. Let's go ahead and see how fast we can hit 28 miles an hour using pedal assist only. Have it in gear like 4. Pedal assist 5, let's go. Oh, there we go. And we are launching. Oh, yeah, nice. Let's go. Let's go. We are all the way in the top gear. And there it is. Woo! About twice as long, but we're almost twice the speed as well. Let's go ahead and do the brake test. I went ahead and took my gloves off. It's feeling pretty good outside. Now we're going to do it in 2 different speeds, one at 20 miles an hour in case you leave it into class 2, which pedal assist number 3 will put me at 20 miles an hour. And then after that, we're going to put it into class 3 modes here and go as fast as we can and try to hit that 28 when we hit the brakes. Oh, we are right at 18 feet. All right, that felt pretty good. This thing stopped rather well, and then brakes felt nice. Gives me some confidence to crank this thing up to 28. All right, guys, round 2. We're gonna hit 28 miles an hour and lock up these brakes. Ooh, sliding in, stylish. Oh, we are right at 29 feet. All right, for this thing to feel, it does feel heavy, but man, she stops. I think that's pretty good. All right, I do want to point out something that I've noticed. If you turn really sharp and your pedal is up here, there is a good chance that you can hit the fender. Also, if you're turning sharp, the handlebars will hit you in the leg. So just keep that in mind whenever you're making a turn. Just slow down, take it easy, and then you'll be able to do it without hitting yourself. But that's just one of the first things that I've noticed because my foot's hit the fender a couple times already. And I think that just means I have my foot too far forward, but I moved it back and then we don't have that issue. And then when I was making a turn for the brake test, I was like, ooh, that is gonna hit your leg. So just keep that in mind, you'll be fine. One thing I have noticed about this bike is normally when it comes to a bike that is a step-through, it has some kind of curved handlebars, and these bars on this bike are not curved at all. They're actually pretty straight, which I like. Now that's making me lean forward just a little bit, but it still feels pretty good. Now, another thing that I have noticed that this does have the suspension seat post on it, but it's kind of rough. It's kind of stiff. and I'm not sure if that's going to change up as we ride some more. I figure it's going to loosen up. We're going to find out and see how this seat the seat post feels at the end of this ride, because, you know, I figure it's new, so it's going to be a little bit stiff. I mean, it's still working, but you kind of feel it when it's working. It kind of has like a little stop. Like you feel the chunk, chunk, chunk. And we're definitely going to be beating that up here in a few minutes on the on the off-road test, but not near as bad as what I beat up the step-over version of this bike when I was in Phoenix, Arizona. Now, the reason I picked the step-thru model is because I've already reviewed the step-over model on a mountain bike trail in Phoenix, Arizona. Lectric flew me down. Check out the new Lectric XPEAK 2.0, but I did the step-over model. We hit some mountain bike trails. Man, we had a good time, but we beat the crap out of that bike and it handled it. So I figured I'd go ahead and take the step-thru model and see how this bad boy can handle being a commuter bike. And let's go ahead and do the off-road part. Here we go. Let's see if we can get the suspension seat post to work and loosen up some. I'm just sitting down the whole time, but we are moving through. Front shocks are doing really well. Ah, oh, the seat almost like launched me up. That's pretty funny. All right. Yeah, this bike is, man, it's fun. It's, whether it's a step over or a step through, taking this thing off-road is a pretty good time. You feel very confident in its abilities. Let's shoot off this. Oh, barely even felt it. Good job there, XPEAK. Holy cow, this wind is kicking it today. That's definitely going to affect how far we're going to be able to go. Yowza. It is time for the hill test. We have an pedal assist 5. We're going to do throttle only. We're going to see how that goes and see if this bike can make it up the hill on its own, throttle only. And I can tell you that it feels like it's going to make it no problem. Now, we're not going that fast. We're doing about 9 miles an hour, 8, 7. This hill goes between 18 to 20% grade. So as we got steeper, it got a little slower. The slowest we did was 7 miles an hour, still doable. Now let's go ahead and try it into pedal assist only. We're not going to use throttle. We have it in pedal assist number 5, gear 2. And the nice thing is, man, that torque sensor kicks off right away, helping you make it up the hill, giving you that power that you need. And we're doing it. I mean, I can pick up the speed, and we just shot up here at 11 miles an hour. That is pretty nice. She's a little hill climber. Now, when it comes to this distance test, it's going to be very simple in the fact that if you have the bike in a class 2 mode and all you're doing is 20 miles an hour, well, you're obviously going to go farther than what I'm going to be going today. But this bike is set up with this Power Plus technology to make it to where it is easier to hold higher speeds. I'm not really sure how they do it. They do it and it works. And it works well. So what we're going to do is we're going to head out to Lakeshore Trail, do a sand test with this bad boy, and see how far this long distance version can go. Now, one thing I've noticed is that this trip meter will shut off, or it'll reset whenever the bike is turned off. So because of that, well, I'm running a third-party app. Of course, I run a third-party app on every review. Strava is what I'm running. And if you want to keep track of your trips, well, you're definitely going to have to use a third-party app to do it. The nice thing about being able to take these long rides is you notice stuff that you probably wouldn't if I was doing like a much shorter review. If I wasn't taking this thing out for a distance test, I'd probably miss out on a couple features. And number one is how smooth, super smooth, this torque sensor is. I mean, it is just so responsive. When I did the off-road test, I did not realize that my front fork was locked because I locked it during Cockpit Operations. So I have unlocked it. I thought the bike was smooth before, but now this front fork is unlocked. We're going to go ahead, do some off-road action again, and just to see if it's even better. Oh my gosh, it's like butter now. That is crazy. We are shaking around a lot less, but you can see that front fork is doing its job. I mean, it's a $400 fork. I don't even know how Lectric can afford to put that on this bike, considering what they sell it for. But that's what these guys do. And man, that was super duper. Let's go ahead and test out the walk feature with this bike. I went ahead and put it into pedal assist number 0 right here. And if we hit the thumb throttle, it should take us up to 3 miles an hour. Oh, it does not. Let's go ahead and put it in number 1. You have to have it in at least 1 pedal assist level. Ooh, and it scoots. Ooh, ours is set for 3.7 miles an hour. So you got to have a lot of pep in your step. You can actually go into the settings and turn it down to just 3 miles an hour. Either way, I think it's pretty fast. It is time for the sand test. Look at all this beach ahead of me. There's no snow. Well, you can use it's snow way off there. But we're going to go ahead and see how this bike handles in the snow. We got it in pedal assist 5. We're going to kick down the gear here in a second. But let's get going. Kicking down some gears to see how this bike is going to handle it. And we are doing just fine. I am adding throttle to it as well. And this wind is, oh, the wind is rough. The wind is rough. But you know what? We're not going real fast, but we are just cruising right through it. Like, it is no big deal at all. So that is a good thing. Yeah, this bike can definitely, handle riding on the beach, and this sand is soft. You guys can see how soft this sand is. We are leaving a serious track as we roll through here. Yeah. Woo. Not only will this bike get you to the beach, but it'll 100% get you through it. This is always a cool view of the city, of the skyline right here. Check it out. This is the second or third warm day here in Chicago. All of that was all ice and snow. For my 2 reviews before this, I was fighting snow, I was fighting ice, and it was actually blocked off down the road. I want to see if that's going to be blocked off right now. It looks like they have it open. I figured they would with this warmer weather, knocking out some of the big stuff. It looks like they also shoveled, ran a scraper through here. Oh, we're getting a little bit of the rough stuff. I saw this on the news. They call these frozen pancakes. A couple days ago, people were out walking on these things. I was like, not me. I'm looking down, and it shows that when we're cranking, we're at 46 volts. It's showing that we've got like half battery power. So that's all making sense. I do like it when a bike has that voltage information on there, because then you can really get some accurate information on how much battery strength you have. The battery is looking really low on the display, but it's showing that we have 46 volts. I'm going to pull over. We're going to see what the actual battery level is. So it looks like 46 means we're at 50% battery power. I'm not too sure how far I want to head out this way fighting with that wind, but we are going to have the wind pushing our back. You know, we're going to push on farther right here just to see. We'll hit that gravel trail for fun, and then at some point we'll turn around. You know, I have a buddy from Shoot the Chit. He's always going downstairs on his bikes to show that they can do it. Well, we're going to go ahead and do it with this one as well. That's right, buddy. You're not the only one who can do high-speed stuff. Not able to really share with you guys what the wind situation is. I mean, you can't really tell. There's no leaves on the trees that can show. Oh, there we go, some flags. There we go. So far, we've gone 17 miles. This bike is still holding strong. Yeah, we are a good 10 miles from the house. So we're going to go ahead, turn around, and start heading back. One thing I really dig about this main headlight is that since it does run off of the battery of the bike, I don't have to try to charge it up or make sure that it is charged up before I head out, because I do like having cars see me coming up on them, and having a blinking light will definitely do that. And with this bike, well, it's built in. It's just a setting. You can set it to do it, or you can have it be solid. Me, since I ride around in a big city, I like to have it going during the daytime. This seating position is pretty comfortable. Even though I'm sitting up mostly upright, we do have that little bit lean forward, that little bit of aggressiveness, but it is still an extremely comfortable ride. I mean, I put, what, 17, 18 miles on this bike, and we are feeling just fine. So the seat is working great. I mean, the seat feels great. The seat post is working pretty good now. I feel like we've broken it in some. So now it's being way more responsive, and you don't feel the clickiness of it that we did in the beginning. So if that happens to you when you first get it and it starts clicking, well, just give it some time. It'll become a lot smoother. Another great shot of the skyline here in Chicago. I know the GoPro doesn't really do it justice. It never does. But man, I love this city. There is that tail light right there flashing, so you guys can see how well that's doing and how bright it is and how you can notice it. Oh, it's nice now that we're going with the wind at our backs. Oh, so nice. Oh, we have one red bar left and we are fighting into the wind right now. We're far from home, guys, but it's bouncing between 43 and 44%, so that means we got 30% battery. One thing I have noticed is this motor is extremely quiet. The only thing I hear is the tires. We have made it back to the 606 trail, which means I am 3.3 miles from the house. We've been dropping between 41 and 42% battery power. We got one bar left here on the meter, and I do believe we should have enough to make it home, or if not, it's going to be close. We have the E06. This wind is just way too strong, and it is showing that the battery is drained, but it's still providing us with watts right here. We're still rocking about 400, almost 500 watts. One thing you'll notice that when it gets low on battery, that it doesn't pulse or anything like that. Everything still feels great. We're just going slower. Now the battery, there's a battery indicator that has showed up as well. This was definitely a good ride today. I can tell you that I am a big fan of the XPEAK when it comes to bringing it here in the city. For a fat tire bike, this thing rides extremely well, and it's super quiet. It has plenty of power. It's comfy. You know, the suspension seat post did finally start to kick in a little bit. Now, it's not the best, right? Like, you can get some other ones that are nicer, but it is a nice upgrade that comes from Lectric. It did do its part. This front fork, incredibly well, although it should, I mean, it's a $400 fork on a $1,500 bike. That's insane. It's kind of crazy. I'm a big fan of these bags. I like how they're soft, so they make it real easy to move, and you can hold tons of stuff in there. To support all of my video equipment, I have a bunch of towels and things like that, and there was still tons of room in this bike. Now, when it comes to the mileage on it, well, I looked at the display. The display showed we went 29 miles on the trip meter, so I was lucky enough to keep the bike going so that it would show the trip. Once, you know, it was giving us that E06, and once I just let the bike rest while it was still turned on, then it showed me the mileage. Now, Strava showed that we went like 28.36 or something like that. So Strava shows that we didn't quite go as far as the display shows. So I'm going to let you kind of decide. You know, not for me, Strava's normally the one that works, but I'm going to let you guys decide whether you think it's only like a half a mile off. So I don't even think it's that big of a deal, especially if you would be using that to track your mileage. You're going to be pretty close either way. Now, some small issues that I had with the bike is that every once in a while, the front of my foot would hit the front of this fender right here, and then that would just remind me to reposition my feet. And then also, it does make it difficult to turn really hard because this handlebar, the way the seating is, this handlebar is going to hit you in the leg as you turn, but it really isn't that big of a deal. Once it did it like once or twice, and I'm like, oh, and then you just become very used to it. I think this bike is extremely good looking. I am, you know, I get weak for white bikes. I'm a sucker for them. This is off white, but it just looks great. Yeah, I mean, I'm super pumped. You know, considering that you get all of this on a bike that's $15.99, and this is the long range version. They have another version which has a smaller battery, which is even $200 less. So if you are interested in the XPEAK 2.0, whether it be the long range version that I have right here or the normal one, well, I'm going to leave a link down in the description below. I'm also going to leave a link for these panniers. I don't care what kind of electric bike you have. These panniers are going to work great on them, and they just have tons of room. So I'm going to leave all those links down in the description below. If you want to see what the step over version was like on a very hard terrain, well, you can see that video right here. So I'm going to go ahead, enjoy the rest of the day. You do too. And until I see you again, enjoy the ride.